Good Friday morning, another day of dangerous air and flooding on tap.
And it's set to impact the weekend plans for millions. It is July 17th. This is Today. Up in smoke, that dangerous haze from Canadian wildfires still blanketing a large swath of the country.
You walk outside, it burns, it stings a little bit.
Air quality in major cities from the Midwest to New England now the worst in the world. How long it could last straight ahead as parts of flood-ravaged Texas brace for even more rain today. Al has your full weekend forecast. Doubling down, President Trump using a rare primetime address to issue new warnings about election security ahead of the midterms.
These disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it.
The president repeating false claims about widespread fraud and interference in 2020, and also launching a new campaign against voting by mail. We're live at the White House with the latest and the reaction from both sides of the aisle. Zeroing in, iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell now being eyed as one of the likely sources of that nasty stomach bug spreading across the nation. Just ahead, the popular fast food chain's warning to customers and what's being done to end the outbreak. Minute by minute, a detailed new look at the July 4th boat trip that led to the mysterious death of Mississippi teenager Nolan Wells, as his mother speaks out in an emotional new message.
This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different.
We'll have the very latest on the investigation. All that, plus summer sizzle. We've got your guide to grills, the latest and greatest hitting the market, and how to pick the right one for your needs ahead of a big weekend for backyard cookouts. And countdown to the showdown. Argentina and Spain gearing up for their highly anticipated championship clash. What could be superstar Lionel Messi's final World Cup match. We'll get you ready with soccer's most recognizable voice. The one and only Andres Cantor, bringing his energy right here to Studio 1A today, Friday, July 17th, 2026.
From NBC News, this is Today with Savannah Guthrie and Craig Melvin, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And a very good morning to you. Welcome to Today. It's a Friday morning. So glad you've decided to start your weekend with us. Laura Jarrett in for Savannah, who's going to be back on Monday. She's getting an early start on the weekend.
Always great to be with you on Friday. I'm especially excited because Andres Cantor, maybe he can teach us how to yell at our children when they need to pick up their clothes off the floor. But we're going to have him preserve his voice, of course, because the countdown is on to Sunday's big World Cup final between Argentina and Spain. And here's a look at where that match is going to be held. Take a look at nearby MetLife Stadium. You can see that thick haze from those Canadian wildfires still hanging over that area.
Yeah, and it's triggered some major health concerns for some of the largest cities in the United States right now. Air quality alerts posted again today for more than 100 million from the Midwest to the Northeast.
Another major weather story we're watching is that catastrophic flash flooding in Texas. At least 2 people have been killed. More than 200 others have been rescued. And this morning, dozens of other counties remain under flood watches, with the hardest hit areas expecting more rain today.
Well, we've got it all covered for you this morning, including, of course, Al's forecast and the outlook for the weekend. First, though, NBC's Erin McLaughlin, she's going to start us off from Hoboken, New Jersey. Erin, good morning.
Craig, good morning. Yeah, it's still pretty bad here in the New York City area. Check out that hazy air. Normally, you'd be able to see the GW Bridge over there. Health experts say breathing in this air is roughly the equivalent to smoking several cigarettes if you stayed out in these conditions all day. Across the country, more than 100 million Americans are waking up to unhealthy air.
This morning, toxic smoke suffocating a large swath of the country after traveling from the forest fires in Canada, forcing more than 100 million Americans to either mask up or stay inside. Late Thursday, first Detroit, then Chicago clocked the worst air quality in the world.
It's wild because when you look outside, you think it's fog and it's completely covered the city, and it's smoke because when you walk outside, it burns, it stings a little bit.
In response, officials in Chicago closed local beaches. In New York City, public libraries and police precincts handed out free masks.
I'm most definitely worried about it because I struggle with, health problems.
The smoke also impacting sports games across the country, including forcing an early start to the Mets-Phillies game in Philadelphia.
Supposed to start this game at 7:10. We've been moved up 1 hour because of the conditions outside.
Over in Chicago, the dangerous smoke forcing an MLS soccer match to be postponed. Similar scenes playing out across Ohio, Minnesota, and Michigan. The haze triggering a code purple in parts of Pennsylvania and Maryland, which indicates very unhealthy air. Making matters worse, a brutal heat wave with soaring temperatures, making life miserable for folks working outdoors in Michigan.
Stay hydrated, sit in the AC, take a minute or two for a break in the heat.
Health experts warn the extreme temperatures combined with smoke are a double blow to the body.
Stay indoors. Turn on whatever air filtration system you have.
What symptoms should people be looking out for?
Shortness of breath, chest pain. We see effects all over the body.
And experts say the health impacts from this air are down to particles that are 1/30th the size of a single strand of hair. That is so small that it can get into your lungs and into your bloodstream, causing all kinds of problems, which is why health officials say if you are experiencing any symptoms in these conditions, to take those symptoms seriously. Craig?
All right, Aaron McLaughlin starting us off there in New Jersey. Aaron, thank you.
Meantime, down south, parts of Texas hit with catastrophic and deadly flooding are bracing for even more rain today, adding to the urgency of high water rescues. NBC's Ryan Chandler joins us once again from Uvalde. Ryan, good morning.
Laura, good morning. And you see the power of that water in the mangled trees and debris behind me. We learned last night that these waters took the life of another man right here in Uvalde. The second victim was a man near Comfort, Texas, which saw record high water. And yet, despite another historic flood here in Texas, it is clear this time the state saved countless lives.
This morning, rescue and recovery efforts intensifying as record flooding continues to overwhelm Central Texas.
When they talk about a wall of water, it is literally a wall of water.
At least 2 are dead and more than 200 rescued. It comes just a year after the flood on the 4th of July killed 119 people here, including 25 campers and 2 counselors at Camp Mystic. Mangled highways like this completely blocking traffic in and out of Uvalde.
We have communities in the Uvalde area that are cut off right now.
Inside the city, the water walling off entire neighborhoods. First responders rappelling down from high above to rescue this young girl, her family, and their 2 dogs, hoisting them to safety on a helicopter. But behind the dark clouds, a silver lining.
Having accurate warnings in time saved lives today.
Local leaders praising the state's quick action to rewrite the rules of flood safety in the year since the last catastrophe, pushed in large part by the families of the Camp Mystic victims. While much of the floods came in the middle of the night again, some residents said they received more warnings compared to last year.
People were more situationally aware. The fire departments were fully staffed. The emergency operations center was already up and running. So all the stuff that we took time to build last time immediately was in place.
The family of Lila Bonner writing, "Our deepest prayer is that the progress made over the last 365 days saved lives today. The legacy of our daughter and the Heavens 27 is a legacy of heroes." Still, Texans bracing for more.
We are not out of this scenario yet.
Yeah, we were checking in with some of those camps yesterday. As soon as we got the news of the flood heading down the Guadalupe River, it was surreal to talk to them again. The first time we talked to many of them was after they were destroyed last year. But this time, it was so encouraging to hear, yes, we are safe and sound. The campers are high and dry, and we may be waiting out a storm here, but we're doing it together. Laura.
All right, Ryan Chandler. Thank you, Ryan.
We got those flooding down south. Yeah. We got the wildfires in Canada. Al has been very busy all week. He joins us now once again. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, guys, and good morning to you. Our staff up in the climate unit has been working hard, giving you the latest Ontario fires. There's more than a dozen, and we are talking about 1.5 million acres burned so far. So here's what the current situation is. Very unhealthy to hazardous air quality throughout the Great Lakes. Green Bay, Saginaw, Detroit, Cleveland. At one point, New York, Detroit, and Chicago had the worst air on the planet. Now we move into the mid-Atlantic states and the Northeast. You can see we still have very unhealthy air in New York, Ocean City, but State College, you've got very unhealthy air. Boston, not so bad. So this is what's happening. We're going to see this high pressure that's going to push the bulk of the smoke down toward Washington. Warm front's going to move from west to east. That's going to start clearing things out. So we're going to be looking at showers and thunderstorms in the Northeast. By morning, though, we're going to see by the evening, this thing sweeps away the smoke, but the Midwest will see another round of smoke, most likely, as we get into Saturday. Now, where Ryan was in Texas, we're talking about more heavy showers, thunderstorms. We've got flash flood warnings right now for Sonora, just to the west of Kerrville and Uvalde. And we're going to be looking at this rain, the chance of thunderstorms bringing more and more rain on top of this. You can see from Phoenix to Tucson on into Texas, we've got a risk of flash flooding, another 1 to 3 inches of rain falling in that region. And the heat continues. We've got this big area of high pressure in the East Coast, also back through the plains, and that's going to keep heat indexes over triple digits for Cincinnati, Nashville, Columbia. Tomorrow, we've got more of the same from Washington, D.C., Wilmington, back to Memphis. Temperatures still a little on the cooler side. The good news in New York City in the mid-80s, but 90s, triple digits as you get back into the Southwest. Guys?
When the 90s is the cooler side.
Right.
All right, we'll see you back in a little bit, Al. Also this morning, reaction pouring in to President Trump's rare primetime address to the nation, using his speech to revive false claims about the 2020 election and raising questions about election integrity ahead of the midterms this November. NBC's senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has that story for us. Gabe, good morning.
Laura, good morning. The president has questioned election integrity before, but these claims are taking on new urgency with the midterms less than 4 months away. Despite vast evidence to the contrary, the president is now laying out a wide-ranging conspiracy theory about his 2020 election loss to Joe Biden. Overnight, President Trump ramping up his claims about election security, the White House posting newly declassified but heavily redacted documents.
Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it.
The president describing efforts by China to access U.S. voter rolls, though much of that information is already publicly available. While China denies it, Trump alleges the country targeted his 2020 campaign.
They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win.
Adding that members of what he calls the deep state tried to cover it up.
In our intelligence agency worked to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling.
But one of the documents released overnight also refers to Chinese efforts to target Joe Biden's campaign. And for years, U.S. intelligence assessments have shown that American voting systems have been a target of foreign adversaries. Years of recounts, audits, lawsuits, and reviews have not found evidence of enough fraud to overturn Trump's 2020 loss.
Our purpose in disclosing this information is not to weaken confidence in election, but to earn that confidence by confronting vulnerabilities and correcting them very, very quickly.
The president also pointing to a review of state voter rolls and public records by the Department of Homeland Security.
They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections.
But election experts say the database that may have been used for that analysis often flags newly naturalized citizens as non-citizen voters. Meanwhile, the president is pushing Congress to pass sweeping legislation known as the Save America Act that would require voter ID and proof of citizenship.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat?
The bill faces long odds in the Senate, in part because of concerns it would make it harder for Americans to vote.
What we're going to do, if we continue down this path, is to convince the American people that you can't count on your election results. And that is dangerous.
Someone who was not in the room while the president made his case overnight was his longtime technical advisor and teleprompter operator, Gabriel Perez. He's now on unpaid leave after allegedly making more than $90,000 on the prediction market Kalshi from placing bets on the president's past remarks. We have not been able to reach him for comment, Laura.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez, thank you.
Lots more to get to on a Friday morning, including some new developments on that nationwide stomach bug outbreak. Federal health officials appear to be closing in on a possible source. Iceberg lettuce sold to a popular fast food chain. NBC's Ann Thompson here in the studio with the very latest on this one. Ann, good morning.
Good morning. They're getting ever closer to finding that source. This cyclosporiasis outbreak has American health officials working overtime. Now we're learning that federal authorities say iceberg lettuce supplied to Taco Bell is linked to that nasty parasite, which can cause extremely serious stomach issues. The hope this morning is to quickly get it under control. In the wake of a major outbreak connected to a parasite found in produce, Taco Bell moving quickly to remove the questionable lettuce from its menus, saying in a statement, the affected ingredient from our supplier is being indefinitely removed from our supply chain nationwide. It comes as NBC News has learned the FDA is investigating iceberg lettuce sold to Taco Bell by Taylor Farms as a potential source of the cyclosporiasis outbreak. Overnight, the FDA saying its traceback investigation has identified a single supplier of iceberg lettuce from Mexico that was used by Taco Bell locations. The foodborne illness can cause weeks of severe intestinal distress.
I felt like there was a lead ball in my stomach.
Jessica Murphy-Smith is one of more than 4,300 people in Michigan who've gotten sick. She says she ate bagged salads at least once a day and also had Taco Bell.
I realized about a week before I started feeling sick, I had a cheat day and I went to Taco Bell and had 2 tacos.
And there was lettuce on those tacos?
Yes.
So far, the lettuce has only been linked to 5 states, mostly in the Midwest. But it's believed nearly 7,000 people across 34 states have been sickened.
I don't think that the work is done, but that's why I call it the beginning of the end. Unfortunately, we'll see more cases as that all plays out. But hopefully, we're over the rough patch once we've identified the main source.
So far, there's been no official response from Taylor Farms. As for Taco Bell, it says it has taken precautionary action and is encouraging all relevant restaurants, retailers, and food service operators to do the same. Now, while progress is being made, doctors say the risk of getting this illness is not over. They still recommend thoroughly cleaning your produce. And the good news here is that health officials are starting to track down a potential source, which puts them a step closer to preventing more cases. But the thing to remember is there's a 2-week incubation period with this illness, so they still expect cases to rise even though they're making progress.
Thanks. All right. Thanks, Ann. Keep us posted.
Appreciate it, Ann. Well, cleanup efforts are underway in West Hollywood this morning after a major water main break. Take a look at that. It caused widespread flooding in the area. The 100-year-old pipe ruptured early yesterday morning, turning nearby roads into a torrent of rapids. The pipe unleashing hundreds of thousands of gallons of water. Officials report extensive damage to businesses, homes, and cars there, which were completely submerged by the floodwaters. This morning, several streets remain closed, including a section of the iconic Sunset Boulevard. It may take several days, maybe even weeks, to get everything back to normal.
All right. Feels like another good time to check in with Mr. Roker.
All right, guys. Well, it's very hot out west, as we've mentioned as well in the plains. Sunshine along the west coast, hot and humid through the southeast. The smoke continues here. And again, pockets of heavy rain from Texas on into the southwest. We're going to get to your local forecast coming up in the next 30 seconds.
Back now at 7:30 with a nice look at our plaza crowd on this beautiful Friday morning. And Carson Daly joins us at the table here.
Good morning, guys. I want to take just a quick moment to address an incident that happened yesterday. You may have heard that unfortunately an intruder made his way into an unauthorized area here in Studio 1A. Thankfully, he was apprehended quickly. He was placed under arrest. We are cooperating fully with the NYPD as they investigate the matter, and we are just very happy that everyone is safe.
Absolutely.
Yes, of course. We want to make sure that you're safe.
safe and sound.
Safe and sound at all times. Well, meantime, we do have a lot of news to get to in this half hour, starting with new details on this mysterious case we have been following very closely.
Yeah, it's been nearly 2 weeks now since 18-year-old Nolan Wells went missing during a July 4th boat trip, his body washing ashore just days later.
NBC's Aaron Gilchrist joins us now from Mississippi with the very latest on this story. Aaron, good morning to you.
Hey guys, good morning. That boat traveled about an hour away from the coast here where we are, out to Horn Island, and it did have Nolan Wells and others on board. NBC News has obtained new GPS information on the boat's movements that day, providing a clearer timeline of the events as they unfolded that day, and it comes as Nolan's mother is sharing a new heartbreaking message online. This morning, we're learning more about the Independence Day boat trip Nolan Wells and his friends took to Mississippi's Horn Island. As part of a records request to the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, NBC News obtained GPS information for the boat. The records show it departed from a private boat launch at 9:56 a.m., arriving at the island by 11:14 and staying there until 4:30 p.m. In audio of a call around that time to a private towing company obtained from the same records request, the caller explains a mechanical issue with the boat.
We're sinking. Can you all please come?
The towing company dispatched reaching out to a local captain for help.
It sounds like a bunch of kids on board on Horn Island, and he's saying the boat is sinking. He wants you guys to go out there and unpump the boat and then tow it in.
Records then show the boat being towed slowly from about 4:31 until 5:25 before getting back to normal speed. The boat then returned to its original location at 5:44 without Nolan Wells. Melissa Miller was at Horn Island on the 4th. She says there were hundreds of boaters there for the holiday.
It's just a big community. Everyone goes out there and, has a good time.
She also says it's normal to leave cell phones on boats and that currents at the northwest corner of the island can be treacherous.
Like you can go out there just innocently and next thing you know, the water's, like kind of sucking you in, throwing you back out.
After speaking with one of the friends on the boat, Nolan's concerned mother reported him missing to police.
Police reported her 18-year-old son, Nolan Wells, missing last seen at 3 on Horn Island.
His body was found on July 6th. His mother struggling as she plans his funeral, posting on Facebook,
"This loss, this grief, this pain, it's different. It's insurmountable."
Now, one parent has also posted that some of Nolan's friends have been getting threatening messages. The FBI does confirm that it is investigating threats connected to this case, all while Nolan's mother is encouraging people to stay peaceful as she plans to hold his funeral next week. Guys, back to you.
Just a terribly sad story on so many levels, Aaron. Yeah. Aaron Gilchrist for us there in Mississippi. Thank you.
All right, guys, much more ahead, including a major shakeup from our friends across the street at Saturday Night Live. You may have heard, beloved Chloe Fineman is departing the show. We'll tell you what she's saying about making that decision as well as what's next for her.
Plus, look who's here. They're getting ready for this weekend's final, the World Cup final. The one, the only, Andres Cantor and Tim Howard, one of America's best goalkeepers of all time. We can't wait to chat with them right after this.
That's your latest weather. Hashtag PSSP.
All right, Uncle Al, we'll get right into our Pop Start sneak peek. Yes, it is true. After 7 seasons, this pro impersonator is leaving Saturday Night Live.
My book, The Woman in Me, hit #1 on the New York Times bestseller list.
We come to this place for magic.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Coolidge.
Ooh, it's a masterclass. I'm Timothy Chalamet.
I am just like you, a boho free spirit, mommy, mother, movie star since I was 6.
It's the Drew Barrymore Show.
How Drew you do? Favorite holiday?
That's right. Chloe Fineman announcing yesterday that she would be departing the show ahead of the new season. She joined the cast back in 2019 and has been a staple ever since she started. After going viral for her spot-on impressions, Chloe opened up about her decision on Instagram, writing, quote, "It's really hard to leave SNL, but it does feel like the right time. I'm going to miss it a lot, but the people who work there are my family, and that place is my home, and I know I'll never be too far away." Bittersweet.
I think her doing Jennifer Coolidge is my favorite.
Oh, perfect. Oh, my gosh. Nothing she can't do.
I know.
She will be missed.
All right, your full Pop Start is just up, but a special boost to start your day off right. But first, these messages.
8 o'clock on Today, coming up, to the extreme. Toxic smoke from those Canadian wildfires still smothering much of the country this morning.
When you walk outside, it burns, it stings a little bit.
More than 100 million under air quality alerts, while rescue and recovery efforts intensify in Texas as record flooding continues to overwhelm the region. Al's got your full forecast. Then, getting grilled. Summer barbecue season is in full swing, and we've got your guide to buying the best grill.
What is the #1 question you should ask yourself before purchasing a grill?
You want to consider what you're going to cook and how often you're going to do it.
How you can get the best deals and meals of the season. All that, plus Christopher Nolan on his epic undertaking.
It's a love story, it's a coming-of-age story, it's a story about war and homecoming.
Luke's lightsaber grabs big bucks. And good times, Brad times.
Let's get a little mud on the tires.
Country icon Brad Paisley joining us live for a performance to kick off the weekend right today, Friday, July 17th, 2026.
Hi to my daughter Charlotte in Kansas City, celebrating 3 generations of birthdays.
Hi, Zoe.
Shout out to Nana, Mia, and Papa from Houston, Texas. Visiting from Chicago, Illinois. Lexington, Kentucky. Ocala, Florida. And Florence, Alabama. Mother and son trip to New York City.
I'm getting married next month. Hi, Megara.
Celebrating my 72nd birthday at the Today Show.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy all of the things.
Happy everything.
Happy everything.
Happy everything.
Happy Friday. Good to see all those smiling faces out there on the plaza. We're going to get outside and hang out with them in just a bit. Yes. I'm trying to talk extra slow so we can get everybody on camera.
Yes, give everybody their flowers, their time.
Welcome back to Today. So happy to have you with us on a Friday morning. Laura is in for Savannah, getting a jump start on the weekend, but SG will be back on Monday.
Yes, happy to be with you.
Yeah, always good to have you. We're going to get started with your news at 8 o'clock. We're going to begin with that dangerous haze that's blanketing a huge portion of the country still. The smoke drifting down from those wildfires in Canada can be seen in cities from the Midwest to the East Coast. It's having a major impact on the air quality. More than 100 million people are now under alert. And it all comes as parts of flood-ravaged Texas brace for even more rain today. Al, keeping a close eye on all of it. Back now with the very latest. Good morning to you again, sir.
Good morning, guys, and good morning to you. And so here's the origin of all this Canadian wildfire smoke. There are more than a dozen wildfires. They've burned more than 1.5 million acres so far, and it's now not going to be letting up anytime soon. You can see the Great Lakes. This is where the worst air is, from very unhealthy to hazardous air quality. At one point yesterday, New York City, Detroit, Chicago, worst air on the planet. And then we still continue to have that bad air here in the Northeast, a little bit better upstate New York on into New England. But we're going to see this start to move further down to the south. High pressure will be pushing it down toward Washington and Richmond, while a warm front will clear smoke from west to east. And so as we move on into tomorrow, you are going to see these showers and thunderstorms kind of scrub the atmosphere here in New York. But then there's another round of smoke for the Midwest a little later on, probably Saturday into Sunday. Again, down in Texas, where we've seen massive flooding, we still have flash flood warnings as heavy thunderstorms continue to train. However, they are lessening a bit, but we still have the risk of severe flooding stretching from Presidio all the way into the southwest. Could see another 1 to 3 inches of rain, especially in the mountain areas of the hill country of Texas. Intense hourly rainfall rates this morning, and then, guys, they start to taper off.
Okay.
Looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, Al. To Washington now. President Trump using a rare primetime address last night to raise doubts about the legitimacy of U.S. elections, part of his appeal for more restrictive voting laws ahead of the midterm elections. NBC's senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has all of the details. Gabe, good morning.
Laura, good morning. The president argues he's aiming not to weaken confidence in elections, but instead to confront and correct vulnerabilities. Still, despite vast evidence to the contrary, he's now laying out a wide-ranging conspiracy theory about his 2020 election loss.
Overnight, President Trump ramping up his claims about election security. The White House posting newly declassified but heavily redacted documents.
Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it.
The president describing efforts by China to access U.S. voter rolls, though much of that information is already publicly available. While China denies it, Trump alleges the country targeted his 2020 campaign.
They fought like hell not to have it, Donald Trump, to win.
Adding that members of what he calls the deep state tried to cover it up.
Our intelligence agency worked to actively suppress and downplay information about the extent of China's sinister election meddling.
But one of the documents released overnight also refers to Chinese efforts to target Joe Biden's campaign. And for years, U.S. intelligence assessments have shown that American voting systems have been a target of foreign adversaries. Years of recounts, audits, lawsuits, and reviews have not found evidence of enough fraud to overturn Trump's 2020 loss. Meanwhile, the president is pushing Congress to pass sweeping legislation known as the Save America Act that would require voter ID and proof of citizenship.
How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat?
The bill faces long odds in the Senate, in part because of concerns it would make it harder for Americans to vote.
What we're going to do, if we continue down this path, is to convince the American people that you can't count on your election results. And that is dangerous.
The president is also pointing to a review of state voter rolls and public records by the Department of Homeland Security, which he says identified about 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. But experts say the database that may have been used for that analysis often flags newly naturalized citizens as non-citizen voters. Laura.
Gabe at the White House, thank you.
The FDA yesterday approved a new cholesterol pill from Merck said to drastically reduce bad cholesterol. It is called Lipfindra. Previously, it was only available through injections. The daily pill is for patients with high levels of LDL cholesterol. In one late-stage clinical trial, Merck found that Lipfindra lowered bad cholesterol levels by up to 60% after 24 weeks.
All right, we got the news covered. How about a little boost? And sometimes even the least likely of characters need one, and that's exactly what these firefighters provided. After a vehicle fire, the crew noticed a pigeon coming up to them in some distress, seeking help. The firefighters acted immediately, administering oxygen to the bird that was suffering from smoke inhalation. Why are you laughing, Craig? Soon after, the pigeon's lungs were clear and he flew away, proving everyone, even pigeons, can use a helping hand sometimes.
Why is that so funny?
He just needed a little help. He just needed a little help.
But how
okay?
But how do they know if the pigeon's lungs were clear?
Because he flew away. You're really tickled by that one. You know what? You deserve a boost. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Carson, what you got coming up?
See, I think when you do mouth to mouth with the pigeon, you can like take it right out of his lungs a little bit, and then you.
You look a little too comfortable with that move there.
There he goes. He's okay. All right, guys, coming up in Pop Start, we got a remarkable auction item from an iconic piece of Star Wars history to tell you about.
First, though, it is time to fire up the grill, but the question is, which grill? Vicki Wynn is standing by with a brand new Today's Best Ways, helping us make the most out of peak barbecue season. We'll do that right after this. We are back, 8:13 now, back with a brand new Today's Best Ways.
This morning, we're looking at a variety of grills for your next summer cooking, helping you pick the style best suited to your needs.
And here with all the answers is NBC's chief consumer investigative correspondent on the case, Vicki Wynn.
Good morning. This was a fun assignment because I am wondering what's the best grill for us in our backyard. Summer, obviously, peak grilling season. And if you are thinking about getting a new grill or taking your backyard cooking to the next level, allow me to introduce you to the latest options to consider. Nothing says summer like a backyard barbecue. And with the cost of cookout staples like ground beef and chicken rising, the right grill will help you save money and get the most flavor from your food. But which type of grill works best? We compared the 3 most popular: gas, flat top, and charcoal, with prices that can range from a few $100s to more than $1,000. Paul Hope is Consumer Reports grill expert and a professionally trained chef. What is the #1 question you should ask yourself before purchasing a grill?
You want to consider what you're going to cook and how often you're going to do it.
He says look for a grill that preheats quickly, cooks evenly, and has the ability to cook a variety of foods at a broad range of temperatures. At this facility in Yonkers, New York, Consumer Reports tests grills to determine their top picks for 2026. So how do you scientifically test the grills?
Great question. So what we're looking at here are sensors that we hook up to the grates of the grills inside our grill lab here. We're going to connect these wire thermometers and check to see how evenly the grill heats, how fast it preheats, and whether it can cook at different temperatures in different spots.
When it comes to choosing a grill, aim for something that best fits your cooking style. Oh, yeah. We fired up 3 types of grills, starting with the gas grill that runs on propane. This Ninja Flex Flame is one of Consumer Reports' top picks at $1,300, but Hope says a great gas grill can start as low as $240.
Most people go with a gas grill, and that makes up the majority of what we recommend for most people. They tend to preheat pretty quickly, and they're really easy to use.
Another option is the flat top grill, which is taken off on social media. This Blackstone version runs $270.
Things like eggs, bacon, pancake, smash burgers, those all do really well on flat tops. There is no open flame, so you're not going to get that same kind of exact grilled flavor like you're going to get from a gas or a charcoal grill. They can also be a little bit difficult to clean.
If you want the flat top experience without the investment, look into getting a cast iron griddle insert for your gas or charcoal grill. Those cost about $50. And the splurge option shown to us, a Kamado. A budget version will set you back $340, but this top pick is $1,500. What about this bad boy, the Kamado, you call it?
Kamado grills.
Okay.
So Kamado grills are basically really advanced versions of charcoal grills that can also smoke foods.
Kamados offer precise temperature control, whether you want it low and slow for the perfect brisket or up to 1,000 degrees for a crisp wood-fired pizza. Would you recommend this as a primary grill or more like a secondary specialty one?
It's probably not the ideal first grill for most people, but it is a really nice addition to, your yard if you're serious about barbecue. A little worried.
Putting his grilling acumen to the test, Paul cooked up burgers, hot dogs, and chicken legs. Oh, skin side down, okay.
Skin side down to start.
The results? The flat top grill wasn't ideal for cooking the chicken leg because of its uneven shape. The skin browned before the center was done. The Kamado took the longest overall because of its 45-minute preheat time. The choices, though, did produce 3 perfectly good plates of meat. Do you have to spend a lot of money to get a good grill?
You don't. You can spend $500, even less, and get something that cooks really well.
Good to know. And for cooking tips, Paul says to place the food presentation side down first. So with the chicken, it was the skin side down first. You want to avoid flipping things too many times. Mostly once is enough. And always use an instant read thermometer to prevent under or overcooking. By the way, we do have a link to Consumer Reports' best ranked grills on our website, today.com.
I could have watched 20 minutes of that.
Well, yeah, Alan and I have got a lot to say on the topic. I'll say 2 quick tips. Okay. If you use the infrared thermometer, make sure that tip is where it reads. It's got to be in the center of the protein. If you go too far, you're going to get a false reading.
That's right.
The other thing I'll say about if you're interested in buying a barbecue is it's not one of those things where you get what you pay for. The most expensive grill in the market is not necessarily the best. In fact, I'd argue that just a basic Weber grill might be your best way to go.
That was in your piece,
Yeah, thank you for mansplaining that again, Carson.
Whoa! I'm just passionate about the grill.
You come for the grill advice, you stay for the baboon.
Drive by from Vic.
But here's the thing, like I said, whatever floats your boat. Listen, when I first started, I was like, oh, charcoal, that's the only way. If you want to cook something outside quick,
sure.
But you like the flat top outside.
I got a Weber slate. I mean, because it's breakfast, it's lunch, it's dinner, it's all that stuff.
It's the whole banging on experience,
but I also, I've got an old school Hasty Bake, oldest charcoal company in America, charcoal grill company in America, Tulsa, Oklahoma, and
that's the one with the wheel.
That's the one with the crank.
You still use the green red too?
I've got the green 8, but I got a Kamado.
Okay. Here we go.
Backyard is how much space do you all have?
We need a podcast.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
How many grills do you have?
And let's not even talk about my pizza, wood-burning pizza oven in the back.
Oh, my God.
That's your latest weather. Wow, you can't even see where the knife went.
All right, it's time for. I'm going to mansplain some new music right now, if you don't mind. Let me jump right in. New Music Friday. We got 2 great ones to get to. We're going to start with Gracie Abrams. Overnight, the Grammy nominee, releasing her 3rd album, Daughter from Hell. And Gracie stopped by The Tonight Show and debuted one of her new tracks. This one's called Mini Bar.
Seem like a Daughter from Hell.
Sounded good. Not at all. We could ask JJ. I don't know. Another one of our favorites is also out with new music. It comes from Kelly Clarkson, who's gearing up for another round of shows in Vegas and dropped this single to help kick off those shows. This one's called I'd Be Lying. Catchy summer jam there from Kelly, who shared the single's sound was inspired by Prince. She'll return to the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace tonight. We'll see if that one gets added to her set list. Next up, Star Wars. A piece of this epic battle just made history.
I am your father.
No!
All right, Mark Hamill's original Luke Skywalker lightsaber just sold for $3.75 million.
Wow.
The item also included, by the way, the hand Darth Vader severs right before delivering that iconic line.
Wow,
Heritage Auctions originally estimated that item might fetch somewhere less than $2 million. Instead, it set a world record as the most valuable screen-used Star Wars prop of all time.
3.7.
Pretty deep. And finally, guys, that's right. The world's finest golfers are teeing off at the Open. It's the sport's oldest tournament. It's the 154th year it's being held at the Royal Birkdale Golf Club in Southport, England. And that is where we're going to find the voice of golf on NBC, the great Dan Hicks.
Hey.
Dan, we'll just jump right in this morning I know it's later there. World #1, he missed the cut in Scotland last week for the first time in 4 years, but doesn't seem like he's out of form. How's it going so far today?
Well, he shot 68 yesterday, Carson, and he's got some work to do today because there's a 30-year-old from Australia who is currently 8 under par through 15 for the day. So the scoring is a little bit better today on this baked-out golf course. But you're right. There was some concern about Scotty's form coming in, but the 4-time major champion is trying to become the first to go back-to-back at this Open Championship since Padraig Harrington pulled it off in 2007 and 2008. And, oh, by the way, that second straight Open title for Padraig occurred right here at Royal Birkdale. So Scotty goes off in less than 2 hours from now with a chance to keep those dreams alive.
Hey, you know what, Dan? You're the soundtrack to a lot of Sundays and Saturdays for a lot of folks who enjoy watching golf. This is a big weekend for you too, buddy. This is your 10th Open. Wow. What is it for folks who don't even follow golf as closely as you or Carson? What is it about the Open that makes it so special? Why do you keep coming back year after year?
Yeah, Craig, we've had the opportunity to do a lot of big championships. The U.S. Open, of course, has been a part of NBC Sports golf DNA for a long time. And so this being our 10th one, the first time I had a chance to do one was the first time I'd ever been to an Open Championship. And I'd heard a lot from guys like Mike Tirico, who had covered a lot of them in the past, how great it was. And until you're here on these incredible golf courses, you don't really realize, 1860 is when they crowned the first Open champion. Wow. So the vibe here is different. Normally, it's sideways rain, a lot of wind involved, but as you can see behind me, Royal Birkdale is almost a whiteout. It has been a drought over here in the UK. So the turf is just baked out. It's running fast. But that's another aspect of links golf. The ball rolls out, runs out. So that is a big part of the strategy here this week. And the forecast, by the way, guys, more of the same. Temperature about 80 degrees, not an ounce of rain in the forecast.
Perfect. Well, it's fun to watch a couple of those golfers on their knees hitting out of some of those deep bunkers they got overseas there. Dan, thanks so much. Congrats on 10 years. Here's to 10 more. And yes, we will all be watching the coverage of the Open on Saturday and Sunday starting at 7 a.m. right here on NBC. Discovery and Peacock.
All right, just ahead, ladies and gentlemen, a live performance right here in Studio 1A from country music superstar Brad Paisley. In fact, looks like he's already getting started there. But first, a quick check of your local news and weather.
We are back now, 8:35, with a literary lion, something of a lion, Colson Whitehead.
That's right.
That's what we're talking about.
Called America's Storyteller. He's now releasing the third book in his acclaimed Harlem crime trilogy, Cool Machine. And Craig, you had a chance to catch up with him.
And you know what? I've actually wanted to sit down with Colson Whitehead for a very long time. One of my favorite writers, one of the most decorated American authors of our time. 2 Pulitzer Prizes, the National Book Award, and a MacArthur Genius Grant. We shared a wide-ranging conversation about his books, researching them in the place that he called home, and what life is like for him these days.
I'm not, a Harlem maniac. To me, it's just like another beautiful part of the city I live in.
People say, write about what you know. Colson Whitehead knows New York City. His latest book, Cool Machine, is dedicated to his hometown, and it's set in the famed neighborhood where he spent his early years, Harlem. Why is it set in Harlem?
I want to do a heist novel. I love Ocean's 11. It must have been so much fun to come up with those capers and then heists and the characters. And if you're going to do a black crime novel in New York City, it's either Harlem or Brooklyn, and Harlem is just sitting there.
Cool Machine is the final book in a trilogy that includes Harlem Shuffle and Crook Manifesto. How much shoe leather research did you do for this one?
I did a lot of location scouting, just zigzagging up and down different streets. Is this a good place to dump a body? I did a lot of body dumping thinking.
As you walked around Harlem?
Just for research, yeah.
You're like, oh, this would be a great place to dump a body.
Yeah.
The main character in his crime trilogy is Ray Carney, a furniture store owner with a criminal side hustle. How much of Colson is in Ray Carney, and vice versa?
In terms of Ray, there's definitely things about loving the city. We both share a love for mid-century modern furniture.
Whitehead lived in Harlem until he was 6. Then, he grew up on Manhattan's Upper West Side before going to Harvard, then launching a career as a writer. Ray Carney's one of these guys that he's striving, but he can't break up with his former life. Like, he can't leave the dark side behind. Why?
Well, I mean, that's part of the crime stories. Whenever I try to get out, they pull me back in. I think all of us have these unresolved parts, and we're embracing or rejecting parts of ourselves that we love or don't like as much.
Is that why you think this character has been so relatable for so many over the course of the series? Because there is some of that in all of us?
Well, whether you're very much like the character superficially or not, hopefully, I'm doing my job, and that you can see yourselves in them. So a lot of us aren't criminals. Some of us are. I don't want to speak for the audience. Yeah. But
you say some of us are?
Some of us are.
As in you?
Statistically.
Oh. I was like, I mean, if you want to confess here, we can turn it into Dateline. Whitehead won a Pulitzer Prize for The Underground Railroad, which was turned into a Golden Globe-winning television series on Amazon Prime. His next book, The Nickel Boys, also won a Pulitzer. That story was turned into an Oscar-nominated movie. Whitehead says his Harlem trilogy is now being turned into a series by Apple TV. He's funny in person, but his books have tackled serious issues like slavery, discrimination, and corruption. Do you feel an obligation as a writer of your stature to write about issues?
I have an obligation to do the best I can with each book. So I do like to write about politics and culture. But if I want to write love poetry, I should do that. Life is pretty short. So you shouldn't worry about other people's ideas of what you should be writing. You should write what you want to write.
What's your process? Are you one of these guys that writes every day?
People say write every day. That seems like a real imposition on my lifestyle, frankly. If I can do like 6 pages a week, Monday, Tuesday, Saturday and Sunday, that's an accumulation. After a month, you have like 20-something. And
so you don't write every day?
No. I mean, sometimes I'm not feeling it. Sometimes it's like Thanksgiving and you have to be present for your family or whatever. So that's a lost week.
Well, I was present for your family in air
People
quotes.
like you to do stuff. People like you to show up.
You don't strike me as the kind of guy that necessarily always likes to show up when people ask, maybe, no?
Well, I'm lucky that I can work from home. You know, I can work from home, I can write a page, take a nap, do some spontaneous weeping, get back to work.
It's quite the process.
It works for me.
What a winner.
I really enjoyed the guy. Just enjoyed sitting down, spending time with him. By the way, he did tell me he's already working on his next novel.
Of course.
Right, it's a movie. It's already a movie.
Probably already optioned. You're probably right. The only detail that he would reveal, though, is his next novel is actually set in the early 1900s. Oh. So as for his new book, Cool Machine, it's available for pre-order. It comes out next Tuesday. We also want to give a huge thanks to Studio Museum in Harlem. It's a beautiful space.
They've really made this thing a showplace.
They have. And so thank you for letting us do the interview there. Should also mention he's actually the guest on the podcast next week. So the entire interview is going to be on Glass Half Full. And he talks a lot more about the role of writers in modern society as well. So
I wonder if Ray Carney would see the glass half full or half empty.
I think
he's a striver.
I think Ray Carney would be a glass half empty guy. I think, but you know, anyway.
Right.
If you know, you know.
That was great.
Thank you, my friend.
Just ahead, on this Odyssey release day, famed director Christopher Nolan opens up about fulfilling a lifelong dream and a Hollywood first, bringing his new film to the big screen. Kaylee Hartung will share their conversation, but first, this is Today on NBC.
We are back on a day that we have been counting down to all week. The Odyssey. It hits theaters today.
In the build-up, the stars of the film have been joining us here in Studio 1A. I think we got one or two of them. One thing that came up with all of them was the honor that they all felt when they were working with the legendary director, Christopher Nolan.
Well, the time has finally come. We are hearing from him. NBC's Kaylee Hartung talked to the Oscar winner himself.
It was an honor for me to have that conversation as well, guys. And Christopher Nolan loves a challenge. That has been clear with every film that he's made, from The Dark Knight to Oppenheimer. But he says it wasn't until now that he could take on this epic. So the award-winning director is taking us inside the daunting task of bringing the Odyssey to the big screen.
Tell me what you remember.
A wife, a son.
Homer's epic, nearly 3,000-year-old poem is set to be a summer blockbuster. The Odyssey, starring Matt Damon and an A-list cast including Zendaya, Anne Hathaway, Tom Holland, and Robert Pattinson, tells the story of the heroic Greek warrior and king, Odysseus.
Action!
Bringing it to life has been a dream of director Christopher Nolan's for 2 decades.
So after 20 years, what took you so long? Why now?
Now I can get something made that I couldn't otherwise get made. And so for me to take on Greek mythology on a big, modern, cinematic canvas, something that hasn't been done, there's so much in it for everybody. It's a love story, it's a coming-of-age story, it's a story about war and homecoming, and I think that's the eternal appeal of the Odyssey.
Let's go home.
Odysseus is on a 10-year journey home after the Trojan War, sending the cast and crew to 6 countries, including Morocco and Iceland, shooting months on rough seas.
You told Matt in one of your first conversations that this would be hard.
Yeah.
Really hard. At what point do you feel like he really understood what you meant?
I have a feeling he didn't really understand it until we got on the boat. It's not until you get there and you start, hiking up a goat's path to the Cyclops cave that you start to realize, wow, yeah, none of this is going to be easy. I think it was a sort of slow creeping realization for him.
You pushed the limits here, but what limits did you hit?
I definitely hit the limits of my own stamina and everybody's stamina, I think. I mean, it's the Odyssey. Of course, it should be difficult. We're not doing the job right making a film with the Odyssey if it doesn't seem difficult.
It's the first Hollywood production shot entirely on IMAX 70mm film. Nolan felt that technology would help make audiences feel a part of Odysseus's mythical adventure.
This is a format that can put you in the cave with the Cyclops or on the deck of Odysseus' ship in a way that no other imaging format can. For the Odyssey, I went to IMAX and I said, look, if ever we were going to fulfill this dream of shooting the entire movie that way, this is the one, this is the Odyssey. And so for the first time ever, I finally, realized that dream of doing the whole film that way.
Hollywood is forecasting more than $1 billion worldwide. IMAX screenings started selling out nearly a year ago. You've said in the past, you've been well rewarded for having faith in the audience. What is the faith that you are asking this particular audience to have?
I think with the Odyssey, you're really saying to the audience, come and experience, honestly, one of the great adventures. So really, what I'm asking the audience to do is come and be entertained. Hopefully a really phenomenal time having a big screen experience.
We had to wait 3 years between Oppenheimer and the Odyssey. Will we have to wait another 3 years for your next masterpiece?
Oh, at least.
So several of the actors were working on multiple projects while shooting the Odyssey, but Nolan, he only does one movie at a time. And as far as he is concerned, the film's not finished until it goes to the audience. So today, in his own words, is exciting, but it's nerve-wracking as well.
I'm sure.
Well, it's got amazing reviews.
Yeah. I'm seeing it tomorrow morning. I found a place to see it. My first film ever in IMAX.
How'd you get tickets?
I found a theater. I found a local theater. I'm so excited.
The Washington Post found a ticket for $1,000 being sold on eBay.
Jeez. What?
To an IMAX.
Here in New York. Well,
but you can still see it in 7
Nice work,
you can
Kelly.
still see it. The Odyssey from our sister company, Universal Pictures, is in theaters today.
All right, coming up next, we got a special performance from our friend, country music superstar Brad Paisley. Him and the guys, nice enough to wake up early to play some music for us. We'll get to that, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.